Okay, so now we're back. We're going to do the N64. This one's a little bit more complicated. It doesn't have to do the S-Video extra wire, but it does. We do have to remove some components, I believe, in order for it to work well. At least according to the person who created this mod, or the chip that I'm going to use, which is going to be, again, the Voltaire Mod Shop RGB mod. I like it because it's clean, it's efficient, small, it's nice, it's good. We like it. It's cool. I'll show you on this side here. Yeah, it's a little bit better of a quality camera on this side, except the autofocus for it sucks for some reason. I never seem to get it to autofocus. I'll try doing this. What if I do this? There we go. So you can see Voltaire.com. That's where we got this. Is the N64 mod. You can see on the bottom here, it's got the where'd it go? There we go. On the bottom of it, you can tell. God, I cannot get this thing to RGB and sync. Also has TTL and a low pass filter that you can turn on and off. I leave the low pass filter off because I don't necessarily want it. And the TTL I will turn on because I want to be able to use the standard SNES cable. So let's get started with this guy first. Well, first off, I gotta take out the jumper pack. Neat trick that Voltaire teaches in his tutorial video is to use the cap to pull out the jumper pack. It makes it easy. You don't have to get a tool. You don't have to worry about damaging the system. Okay, I take off this. You don't really need to, but hey, whatever, why not? Next, we take out the 6 screws. Turn that enough. These two here, set them over here.
We'll be waiting for you. Sherbet lemon.
Screws. There we go. Boom. Top comes off. Again, I cleaned this system prior to doing this, so we don't have to worry about looking closely at it or worrying about cleaning it up or anything like that. You'll also notice that it's got this red LED here. We're going to go ahead and swap that out for a green one because why not? It's fun. Might as well. I'd like to swap it out with a blue one, but I don't have a blue one with me. I do happen to have a green one, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put a green LED in place of the red one, just for shits and giggles, I guess. Anyways, that's neither here nor there because I don't need to do it yet. I'm going to remove all the screws. I want to say that there's like 700 of them, but there's not quite that many. Whoops, come on. Let's see which other ones need to come out.
It has caught fire.
Oh, on about time. He's been looking dreadful for this. Pity you have to see him. Thoughts? They burst into flame when it was time for them to die. And then they are reborn.
Let's see, there's a few more screws. Luckily we don't have to take out all these little ones here, that's just for the heat sink.
Fascinating creatures.
Okay, so last couple of screws. Too small for my screwdriver, or for my, who's it?
Professor Dumbledore, it wasn't Harry. In fact, I'd be prepared to swear it in front of the Minister of Magic. Hagrid!
Do not believe
Okay.
that Harry attacked them.
So you'll notice there's actually a plethora of different types of screws. If you're worried about it, pay attention to which ones go where. You'll notice. I'm pretty good at figuring out where they go, so I don't pay attention to which ones go where. I just kind of figure it out as I go. So whatever. System will come out. You'll notice that this here unit, it's got a sizing thing here to adjust. It can come out. The unit itself comes up and out. Voila. The main unit, we're going to set aside, including the adapter for the size to make it look pretty. Why they couldn't just make it, I don't know, whatever, make a smaller hole in the plastic, but whatever. Set that aside. Oopsies. Okay, cool. So now we've got our, is this the same size LED? Okay, good, it is. Now we can remove, let's see here, I think I need to remove the heatsink, which honestly looks like I need to remove 2 more screws. What the drill? Oh, I guess these screws didn't need to come out. You just have to use a little bit of force to get that piece off. That's right, I remember reading or hearing about that somewhere. I'll put these. Oh no, I guess I was right. You do have to take those screws out. I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go, obviously. Anyway, so this is the heatsink unit. We took it off as well. I'm not even entirely sure we have to take that heatsink unit off, but you can see the motherboard here, different pieces of it. It's more important for the HDMI mod to take off that heatsink for sure and to know what all the different pins are on this board. These are actually really, really close together pins, so I'm glad I don't have to solder on them like we did on that other board for the S RGB to get the S video off of the video chip. My mind went blank for a second there. Later, eventually I want to do the HDMI mod to one of these, and that will be interesting. You'll have to use drag soldering on, I think it's on this chip here, on a flex cable. You line it up, do drag solder real quick, and then you wrap it around. You attach to these 2 components here. But I don't have one of those because it's a $150 mod, and I don't think there are even any in stock right now. So let's do the RGB mod instead, which I do know how to do. Well, kind of. I've got a video that'll show me how to do it, and it doesn't look terribly difficult, so. Anyways, let's take a look and see here.
Me too.
Let's see. No, the reason why this one is a bit more tricky than the previous one is, like the previous one, we'll have to put this guy here onto the, oh, I can actually show you better what happened. So before, you'll notice the multi-out here, and then there's the 12 pins that go to the multi-out that go through the PCB board. Maybe I'll show you on this camera here. Oh yeah, that's nice when it focuses like it's supposed to. Now let's see if I can get it to... There we go, see? And then... take this unit here, gets placed... gets placed on like that. Come on. There we go. Oh shit.
I think the Slytherin column is this way. Okay.
Excuse me.
It's not quite fitting on there properly. I'll have to mess with it. But see, you can see here where it clearly, basically just the holes line up to go in place of those pins. It's the same as the SNES and the SNES Mini. Same setup, which is cool. So you basically tap into these pins without having to actually solder onto the pins. You just put this board in place, and then you tack a little bit of solder in to hold the board in place, and the board directs the correct signals to the correct pins on the multi-out. But we're not at that point yet. I just wanted to show it while it was on my mind. What we do have to do though is we're going to have to remove some components. Oh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. The components that we were going to remove were these three here. They're already missing. I find that very interesting that those three components are missing. I'm 90% sure that's what... Let's see. Yeah, C22, R6, and R14, or no, R14 and R1 should all be removed. R1, R14, and C22, they're already removed on this board. So that makes me wonder if maybe it had an RGB mod once upon a time before. The first time I opened this system up to clean out the inside, I noticed it was missing one of the screws that are normally inside of it that you have to remove. So I wonder if maybe somebody did this mod once before and then removed it when they sold the system or something like that. It doesn't make much sense to me, but that's got to be what happened or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Regardless though, I'm watching this video.
This intact. You can leave this transistor intact here. You can remove these two components right here very quickly and very simply yet again. So here I'm going the distance. All right, there's one down.
What's the matter with you two? You're acting very
There's two
odd.
down.
It is
That's it. You're ready to go. Now back to the installation. Okay, so now that we've done the board prep.
That's very interesting because those components that I just watched him remove were also removed from this board here. So I don't know.
Where are you going?
It's very strange. In order to do this mod, you have to have a NS1. Oops. NS1, which you'll notice here, it is in fact an NS1 unit. So I'm not sure why those components aren't there on this board like they're supposed to be. That's super weird, and a little bit wary now of whether or not this motherboard is actually from, or actually the correct motherboard for this mod. I'm sure it is. I can't imagine why someone would have swapped motherboards. I don't know, let me look it up real quick and see real fast here. I just want to make sure that I'm not screwing anything up, you know. Whoops. Come back here. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm just looking up to see.
It can't hurt if someone throws something at you. I mean, it'll just go right through you.
Let's all throw books at Myrtle because she can't see it. 10 points to get it through her stomach. 50 points if it goes through her head.
But who threw it at you?
I don't know. I didn't see them. I was just sitting near your bed thinking about Dad. Feel the top of my head.
Yeah, I have no idea why those components were missing from
Do you know anything about the Chamber of Secrets?
Yeah, I have no idea, guys. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why it's got everything it's supposed to have, as far as I can tell, so. Very strange indeed. Yeah, as far as I can tell, it's the correct revision of the motherboard. I don't know why the parts are missing. Maybe I'm gonna forward this video to online or whatever, to like YouTube and stuff, and maybe somebody in the comments or will know why. Maybe it's just sometimes these components weren't included on the board, but I mean, My guess is that somebody modded this previously or something, and then removed the mod. But I mean, it's not dirty, so whoever did it did a really clean job. At least as far as I can tell. Whatever, it's not terribly important, so I guess we don't have to do the mod board prep. Board prep. So normally what we would do is I would switch tips for my soldering iron, because they just pop out and you put in the new one. And it's as simple as that. I was going to switch tips to this tip because it's a bit longer and it's got a bit of a curl to it, so it would be able to hit both sides of the component and just swipe it right off the board. But I don't need to do that. I'm not going to worry about it. So let's see if I can kind of show you what components are missing here. Let's see here. If you look, C22, R14, and R1 are all supposed to be removed for this mod. Those components aren't there. Also supposed to be removed for this mod are, oopsies, which way am I going here? I go this way. R15 and R16 should both be removed for this mod. Those are not there. You'll also notice that Q1 is not there, which according to the tutorial that I'm following on Voltar's YouTube, that component doesn't need to be removed because those two resistors are gone. But whatever, I mean, it's not there, we're not going to worry about it. Moving on. So we're going to take this mod board and we're going to put it onto the we're putting it onto the Super Nintendo, or onto the Nintendo 64. We just pop it on. There we go. I'll get closer so you can watch me do this. If I can avoid throwing around the pieces. So I'm going to take this here. Take super cool mod here. Line it up with the holes and just pop it into place there. It doesn't quite fit. Why not? Let's see here. Because it hates me, that's why. Push on it a little bit there. Sorry, the pins aren't quite lining up, which means one of these pins is probably not exactly straight, which is fine. I just need to kind of wiggle it a little bit and get the pins into place. Ah, there we go. Okay, cool. I got them all into place now. Now for the fun bit, the soldering. Dun dun dun. Get some flux.
According to Professor Sprout, they've still got a bit of growing up to do. But once their acne's cleared up, we'll be able to chop them up and stew them, and then we'll get those people down at the hospital unpetrified. In the meantime, though, you three would best be looking after yourselves. All right? Hello, Neville.
Harry, I don't know who did it, but you better come. Come on.
Okay, so now we've fluxed the shit out of this. Let's go ahead and turn on our soldering iron again. Get the super duper cool solder.
Nobody else knows our password. Unless it wasn't a student.
Whoever it was, they must have been looking for something.
There we go.
Found it. Tom Riddle's diary is gone.
Alright, listen up. We are a game. Hufflepuff doesn't stand a chance. We're stronger, quicker, and smarter.
And not to mention they're dead scared that Harry will petrify them if they fly anywhere near him.
Well, that too. Professor McGonagall,
This match has been cancelled.
we can't cancel Quidditch.
Silence, Wood. You and your teammates will go to Gryffindor Tower now. Potter, you and I will find Mr. Weasley. There's something the both of you have to see. I warn you, this could be a wee bit of a shock.
Right now all I'm doing is adding just a touch of solder to each of these 12 pins to hold the micro board into place and to make sure that it's making connection to the multi tap. So, and again, that stupid camera's out of focus. Very upsetting. Okay, let's see, maybe I can remove this one here over to here.
Because of recent events, these new rules will be put into effect immediately. All students will return to their house common rooms by 6 o'clock every evening. All students will be escorted to each lesson by a teacher. No exceptions.
Oops.
I should tell you this. Unless the culprit behind these attacks is caught, it is likely the school will be closed.
Oh, okay, I see. I'm pointing at the wrong side of that board. So let's see. You know this. Push this to here. That kind of gives you a better view of what I'm doing. Two different points of view. This camera here is not really a lot I can do to help with the angle it's getting. Where'd my soldering iron go? Here we go.
There. Hello? Hello?
What's that for?
Oh, nothing. I was expecting. It doesn't matter. Come on in. Just lay the pockets in.
Hagrid, are you okay?
Just wait.
Sorry, I just noticed there's oxidation on
Oh,
the
yeah.
tip there. Make sure we got good, strong connections here.
Do you know who's opened the Chamber of Secrets?
Oh yeah, look at that. That's nice.
What do you have to understand about that?
Sorry. Just trying to get a closer look at these. They look really good, actually. Let's do the TTL mod right now. Or the TTL enabled.
I wonder, could we?
Of course,
That's boss. Minister of Magic.
There we go. So I just enabled TTL on it, so that way we can use a standard Super Nintendo cable with this board, or with this N64 when we're done. Because typically they have a resistor in them, a 470 ohm resistor maybe. That might be the Genesis, but I think that's the Super Nintendo. Maybe it's 330 ohm. I don't know, whichever. There's a resistor on the C-Sync line for the Super Nintendo because it outputs TTL. So what I do is I enable TTL on these mod boards so that way you can use the same cable, basically. It would probably be better, and most people probably prefer to not need to use the resistor to turn TTL back into 70 ohm, because this is what this is doing, is this is turning 70 ohm into TTL, and then the cable will turn the TTL into 70 ohm signal. So you can probably skip a step, but since most cables I imagine are probably that use multi-out are probably the Super Nintendo cable, which means it would have the stuff in them in order to do the 70 TTL to 70 ohm adjustment anyways, rather than worry about it. I just assume that it's, yeah, I just turn all the signals into what the standard Super Nintendo outputs anyways. So now we've got all these joints are good. Let's
Take him away, the Muggleborns won't stand a chance. You mark my words, there'll be killings next.
Calm yourself, Hagrid. If the governor's desire my removal, I will, of course, step aside.
There we go.
However,
Just retinning the tip on
you will
this.
find that help will always be given at Hogwarts to those who
That's weird, there's some crap on there. Making sure I have a nice tin tip. Turn off my solder. Yeah, that looks good like that. That's good. Sorry, it's new toy, so I don't want it to get ruined or anything like that. I got 3 tips with it when I purchased it, so you see I've got this big ass tip here, which is good for big components and such. And then I've got this tip here. Oops, here we go, which is good for really tiny components. And it's got a bit of a curled turn to it. Yeah, so, and then I've also got this medium chisel tip as well, which is the one I'm using. That's kind of the standard use tip. Not that you guys care at all, but I'm super excited about that because it's my new soldering iron, so I've been messing with it all day. Let's see here. Now I need to figure out where... Oh, sorry, I moved the board in.
Humbledore, they're going to take a day.
Here we go. Yeah. The next thing we're going to do is these here.
Come on,
R8, R9, and R10. Those are RGB connection points. If I remember correctly, let me pull up our video tutorial so that way I can be sure before I do this, so I don't junk it up.
That I like to do, that I consider glorious.
What? Heard what Hagrid said.
Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to flux these.
Yes, I was right. Those are the RGB.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this ribbon cable. It's not that shitty Kynar that other modders use. It's not that thin jacketed junky ass 30-aught wire. It is a nice braided 26 to 28-aught conductor. So what I'm going to do is I've inserted that very carefully. You can see we have full insertion, and the conductors aren't so long that...
Okay, so... Sorry, I just wanted to double check that. Let's go ahead and flux. R10, R12, and R8. These 3 here. Here we go. And then, based on this video, I believe it says that...
I'm going to short something on the top layer of the board. So now that I have... So what I'm going to do is...
Come on.
Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to wiring itself. And I'm going to... of course, we're attacking these vias next to R8, R9, and R10. Those are our analog red, green, and blue signals coming off the DAC. I want to show you a really nice little thing that I like to do that I consider glorious.
Sorry, I'm watching the video real quick just to make sure of which one's red, which one's green, and which one's blue.
Just a drop. A drop is all it takes. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert this ribbon cable. It's not that shitty Kynar that other models...
Yeah, it doesn't... He's not saying yet. Let me fast forward.
No cream.
Who is it? Hagrid, is
Okay, I know what I'm gonna do now. So, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna slide these into the correct location here.
Up at the school, there have been attacks. They think it's Hagrid. They think he opened the Chamber of Secrets, like before.
That's a lie. Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets.
Then you're not the monster.
No, the monster was born in the castle. I came to Hagrid from a distant land, in the pocket of a traveler.
Shush. But if you're not the monster, then what did kill that girl 50 years ago?
We do not speak of it. It is an ancient creature we spiders fear above all others.
But have you seen it?
I never saw any part of the castle but the books in which Hagrid kept me.
Okay, so we're gonna line this up, bad boy here. Slide them into the holes, or vias, or whatever they're called. Come on. Let me get my tweezers here. That might make it a little bit easier.
Well, thank you. We'll just go.
Go? I think not. My sons and daughters do not harm Hagrid on my command. But I cannot deny them fresh meat when it wanders so willingly into our midst. Goodbye, friend of Hagrid.
Don't be panic now.
That's interesting. I can't get this into the view. Why not? Too much solder on the tip here. Let me.
Come on. But it's not powerful enough for all of them.
Where's Hermione when you need her?
Let me clip it a little bit. And try again. Oh, sorry. I moved it away. Again. There we go. Now we got those suckers. Cool. Turn on our solder iron of doom. Let's see here.
Club out of there.
Put solder on the iron.
Auronia, activate!
Thanks for that.
There we go. Kind of get it stuck into place there. And you know what I'm going to do? So I'm going to switch to this small tip. You'll notice here I've got the tip here. I just turned it off. Still too hot to touch. Blow on it a little bit. Move it around. That's still hot. You can see it. So. I'm very impatient today, what can I say? That's hot. It doesn't take very long, that's why I keep trying it. It just has to cool off for a second or two. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to this tip here, which I think will do better because it's smaller. The solder tends to gather right around here or so on it, but we can kind of tap it a little bit and it'll kind of flow down the tip. Okay, cool. So, boom. There we go. Switch tips. turn the iron back on. Grab the solder.
I mean, what was the point of sending us in there? What have we found out? We know one thing. Hagrid never opened the Chamber of Secrets. He was innocent.
See there where it's kind of collecting, not quite on the tip, but on the edge there. Kind of annoying with this tip, but that's okay. Put a little bit more solder there. That's probably way too much, but that's okay. We'll just kind of do this here. Oops. Solder in there, put some solder in there, put some solder in there.
What's that? Wrong. This is why Hermione was in the library the day she was attacked. Come on. There's beasts that roam around. None is more deadly than the basilisk. Capable of living for hundreds of years, instant death awaits any who meet this giant serpent's eye. Spiders flee before it. Ron, this is it. The monster in the Chamber of Secrets is a basilisk. That's why I can hear it speak. It's a snake.
Oh, I see. It's
What
in
if it kills
here.
by looking people in the eye? Why is it no one's dead?
Because no one did look at the eye. Not directly, at least.
Sorry, I was looking to make sure it didn't come through on the bottom side.
Justin must have seen the basilisk through nearly had to Nick. Nick got full basket, but he's a ghost. He couldn't die again. Hermione had the mirror. I bet you anything she was using it to look around corners because it came along.
And Mrs. Norris? I'm pretty sure she didn't have a camera or a mirror, Harry.
There was water on the floor that night. She only saw the basilisk's reflection. Spiders flee before it. It all fits.
How's the basilisk been getting around?
There we go.
30 great snakes. Someone would have seen it.
That's good.
Mine's answered that too.
That's good.
It's using the plumbing.
Remember what Aragog said about that girl 50 years ago? She died in a bathroom. What if she never left?
All students are to return to their
There we go.
headquarters as well.
Not going to turn that off yet. I want to do a quick check and see how good this solder job is here.
As
Yeah,
you
that
can
looks...
see, the heir of Slytherin has left another message. Our worst fear has been realized. A student has been taken by the monster into the chamber itself. Students must be sent home. I'm afraid this is the end of Hogwarts.
So sorry, there's John. What have I missed?
A girl has been snatched by the monster lockout the other night. It has come at last.
Mine? No.
Weren't you saying just last night that you've known all along where the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets is?
That's settled. We'll need you to deal with the monster, Gilderoy. Your skills, after all, are legend.
Very well. I'll just be in my office getting ready.
So those three components there should be
The monster's taking it over.
ready to go.
Can you hear?
Yeah, looks like those three views actually show up underneath a chip, so I can't look at the bottom there to see how far out they come, but I think that's good. I hope I didn't put too much or too little solder on. Well, I'm sure I didn't put too much, but or too little. I mean, I just hope I didn't put too much.
At least we can tell him what we know.
It looks pretty good.
Professor, we have some information for you.
Yeah,
Are
so
you going somewhere?
let's go ahead and clean up this stuff.
What about my sister?
Well, after that, most unfortunate. No one regrets more than I.
You're the defense against the dark arts teacher. You can't go now.
Well, I must say, when I got the job, there was nothing in the job description about
You're running away? After all that stuff you did in your book?
books can be misleading.
You wrote them.
My dear boy, use your common sense. My books would have sold half as well if people didn't think I'd done all those things.
You're a fraud.
You've just been taking credit for what other wizards have done.
Is there anything you can do?
Yes, now you mention it. I'm rather gifted with memory charms. Otherwise, you see, all those wizards would have gone flabby, and I'd never have sold another book. In fact, I'm going to have to do the same to you.
Don't even think it.
Hello, Harry. What do you want?
To ask you how you died.
Oh. It was dreadful. It happened right here in this very I didn't because all I thought was teasing me about my clothes. I was crying. And then I heard somebody coming.
Who was it, Michael?
I don't know. I was distraught.
There we go. So now we take this here, bend it up like that per Voltaire's directions. Bend this, it comes up. Is that right? Let me double check that. I'm relatively sure that's correct, but I want to make positive. Yeah. It's exactly how he shows it, so that's how we're gonna do it. Because quite simply, I want it to be good. So, and he's professional, so we assume he knows what he's talking about.
This is it, Ron. I think this is the entrance to the Chamber of Secrets. Say something. Harry, say
That's
something
good.
in parcel time.
Here's my nifty tweezers here. Tweezers are super useful for shit like this. Let's see here, I'm gonna actually bend these though, so they come at a downward angle. There we go. Yeah, just like that. That's nice. Okay, cool. So, that should stay there then. We'll mess with that some more in a minute. This one to here. That's good.
Excellent, Harry. Ah, good work.
Can you see what I'm doing? Yes, you can. Cool.
There's no need for me to stay.
Oh, yes, there is.
Let's see here. That's nice.
You first.
Now, boys, what good will it do?
Better you than us.
Yeah, that's good. Let's see. I'm gonna actually go ahead and add some rosin there. And a touch of solder just to make sure it's a nice flowed spot. Oh yeah, that's way better. Look at that. Look at that. That's way better. See there, you can. Yeah, that's very nice. I like that. Looks good. See. Yeah, that's my joints there. Not bad. Okay, and then we still have, where'd my, oh crap, where did it go?
Now remember, any sign of movement, close your eyes straight away.
Go on.
Shoot, there's, okay, so these 3 wires actually have a 4th wire that goes with them. Oh, I found it. It was on the floor. This wire here.
It looks like a snake.
It's a snake's skin.
Bloody hell.
Okay, we have a pre-pin.
Oh, shit,
We
this
have a pre-pin
is
conductor here.
long.
We're just going to insert
Oh, whoa.
just like that. See here.
Heart of a lion, this one.
R16. Okay, so we're gonna go to the R16
Here, boys.
here.
Don't fret.
Insert this guy
We'll
into
know
there.
that story. How it was too late to save the girl. How you two tragically lost your minds at the sight of her mangled body. So, you first, Mr. Potter. Say goodbye to your memories.
Where'd my soldering iron go? Here it is. First place to check for a soldering iron when you're looking for one is in its container. Surprise, surprise, who would have thought? Okay, so R16 is where this guy's gonna go. Go tack it in place.
Harry!
There we go. And then grab our solder.
Ron! Ron, are you okay? I'm fine. Oh.
Who are you?
Ron Weasley.
Really? And, who at the full night?
Lockhart's memory chart backfired. He hasn't got a clue who he is.
Odd sort of traces.
Oh, I suppose if this.
You live here?
Forgot to put the flux on here.
No.
Really?
There we go. That'll actually make that really good and it'll fall right into the view, I think. Yeah, that's good. Just like that. Oh shoot, I'm gonna push that through there actually. There we go. That's nice, just like that. Yeah, touch more. Let me check the other side here. See where it's popping out right there? Just gonna go ahead and go. Boink. Just like that. We'll clip that guy off there. Sticking up. There we go. Don't really want that sticking up too much. Don't know why, but I feel like it's not in there good. I guess it's got to be in there pretty well because when I pull on it, it doesn't do anything. Oh, whoops, that's my hair. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and measure this guy off here. So we'll do that.
Wake up! Please wake up.
She won't wake.
Tom. Already? What do you mean so long?
She's not. She's still alive. But only just.
Are you a ghost?
A memory. Preserved in a diary for 50 years.
Close his eyes. He's going to be dead. Wake up. You've got to help me, Tom. This is Basilisk.
It won't come until it's called.
Give me my wand, Tom.
You won't be needing it.
Listen, we've got to go. We've got to save her.
I'm afraid I can't do that, Harry. You see, poor Ginny grows weaker. I grow stronger. Yes, Harry. It was Ginny Weasley who opens the Chamber of Secrets.
No, she couldn't. Who wouldn't?
It was Ginny who set the basilisk on the mudbloods and Filch's cat. Ginny who wrote the threatening messages on the walls.
Why?
Because I told her to. I find I can be very persuasive. Not that she knew what she was doing. She was, shall we say, in a kind of trance. Still, the power of the diary began to scare her, and she tried to dispose of it in the girls' bathroom. And then, who should find it but you? The very person I was most anxious to meet.
Why did you want to meet me?
I knew how to talk to you, meet you if I could. So I decided to show you my capture of that brainless oaf Hagrid, to gain your trust.
Hagrid's my friend.
It's my word, it's Hagrid's. Only Dumbledore sees that he was innocent. He certainly kept an annoyingly close watch on me after that. I knew it wouldn't be safe to open the chamber again while I was still at school, so I decided to leave behind a diary, preserving my 16-year-old self in its pages so that one day I would be able to lead another, to finish Salazar Slytherin's noble work.
Well, you haven't finished it this time. 2 hours, the manuscript draft will be ready. Everyone who's petrified will be in it.
And I told you, killing mudbloods doesn't matter to me anymore. For many months now, my new target has been you.
I think I'm done.
With a baby with no extraordinary...
I think that's the entire mod. Let me double check.
How did he escape with nothing but a scar, while Lord Voldemort's powers were destroyed?
Why do you care how I escaped? Voldemort was after your time.
Alright, and then we're going to come
Is
behind, as she said.
present.
Alright, now we've tacked that in. I want to make that joint just a little more rigid, so I'm going to introduce a little more solder in there. Just holding our work at this point. That's what we want. So now that we've soldered the R16, we have the opposite. This has been cut away. So what we want to do here, quite simply, is come in, just like this.
Yeah.
Introduce. Then it's like that, we set the solder like so. And it's just that simple.
You didn't think I was going to keep my filthy muggle father's name.
I make them look so clean.
I fashioned myself a
Cool.
name.
Yeah, that's...
A name I knew wizards everywhere would one day fear to speak when I became the greatest sorcerer in the world.
That's it. It's done.
Dumbledore is the greatest sorcerer in the world.
Dumbledore's been driven out of this castle by the mere memory of me.
He'll never be gone. Not as long as those who remain are loyal to him.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the full mod, apparently. Nice and simple and clean. It was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, mainly because we didn't have to remove those components. Hopefully it will work. Can't really test it until I get an RGB cable eventually. But yeah, it's good to go. I'm gonna go ahead and start cleaning up the rosin, and we'll put this all back together again. Oh wait, no, I almost forgot. I wanted to replace this LED. It's stupid easy to do. Take the tip out, put the other tip back in. I like this tip better. Grab my solder wick. Ta-da! Pull out these 2 joints here. Oh, whoops, gotta turn on the soldering iron. Got these 2 joints. I'm guessing this one here is powered, this one here is grounded, because, quite frankly, that's the only one that looks like it's getting something. Yeah, so go ahead and suck out the solder, please.
Your bird may have blinded the basilisk, but it can still hear you.
much easier is if I put a bit of flux on it. I always forget the flux because it's a new thing to me. I've soldered wires and I've desoldered stuff from motherboards, but I've never really had a lot of experience using flux because my boss at work doesn't really see the point in it. He's not really a big soldering person. He just knows how to do it. And he's just like, whatever, we can just use the flux that's in the solder. So I always forget to use flux. Yeah, look at that, that came out nice and clean, like. Do the same to this guy here. How's that look?
Yes, Potter. The process is nearly complete. In a few minutes, Ginny Weasley will be dead. And I will cease to be a memory. Lord Voldemort will return.
Almost there.
Very much alive.
Right out, no problem. We'll get the new one. There we go. It's very nice. New one, the old one, then the new one. The same. Here.
Remarkable, isn't it? How quickly the venom of the basilisk penetrates the body. I guess you have little more than a minute to live. You'll be with your dear blood mother soon. Damage a silly little book can do, especially in the hands of a silly little girl. Stop! No!
There we go, now we're modded, so we have a green light on it, because modded systems get a green light, and stock systems get a red light. Maybe I'll do blue for HDMI modded systems. I don't know, we'll see what happens, if that happens in the future. There we go. Let's see. Clean. Clean the tip. Turn off the soldering iron. Tin the tip so it stays
I
clean.
swear, I didn't mean to. Riddle made me. Your point.
Now we start cleaning because we got to make sure there's no flux left on this thing. Make sure it's nice and clean. That's good. Clean this area here.
School rules. There is sufficient evidence to have your book expelled.
Yes, sir.
Therefore, it is only fitting that you both receive.
Oh wow, cool, someone else is watching. Let's see here, so yep, you gotta... Whoopsies, dropped my toothbrush.
Have an hour to deliver these release papers to us tonight.
It should be sufficiently cleaned now. Yeah, so give you a better look at the mod itself.
You must have shown me real loyalty down in the chamber. Nothing but that.
Come on. There we go. See? Nice clean solder joints. That's where it's soldered there. Come on, focus. There we go. And we got the soldering there. 8, 9. And it's done. It's good to go. As soon as I get an RGB cable, we'll hook it up and see if it works. Oh yeah, also the green LED. Because who wants a red LED when you can have green? Far more fun.
I thought you were in blue.
I don't have any blue.
Oh, what's up?
Okay, that's all. So I guess have a great rest of your night. I'm gonna sign off.